Hi everybody. I don't have the background that Tommy has. I'm very much a newbie to all of this. I'm delighted I've got two people here tonight. First one to my mum, who plays a massive, massive part in who I am, which led to me really getting involved. But behind her is John McCardle. He had no idea I was going to refer to him tonight. I've always kind of spoke out against things that I think are unfair and unjust. And one of the very first sort of activist movement group I got involved in was the Black Triangle campaign. I had went to bedroom tax protests, marches, and other bits and pieces, and I watched from the sidelines, and the Black Triangle really, really impressed me. And if you don't know, the Black Triangle campaign against, the defamation basically of sick and disabled people throughout Scotland, along with their sister organisation DPAC, who cover England. So I got involved there, and my confidence, the guys at Black Triangle helped build my confidence. And we all started talking maybe 2 years before the referendum, John, about Scottish independence, and absolutely there was never any doubt in my mind. However, Westminster did a fantastic job of actually making how I felt far, far stronger. And it made me, they were just getting me angrier and angrier and angrier, and I was just determined to do what I could. So I got involved with the Yes movement. Through all the different things I did, people started sort of saying I was brave, I was strong. I'd been told for years, and I recoiled, that I was, you're very militant. I'm thinking, I'm not anything. You're a right socialist. And I actually recoiled from that label, and I've spoke about this before, that I've no idea where that connection with being a socialist and being militant, somewhere in my brain it had been sort of put that these were bad things to be. So I was like, I'm just speaking my mind. So before coming here tonight, the last week I've really thought long and hard about where does this braveness and this strength come from? And believe it or not, Tommy and I promise everybody in this room, we didn't talk at all about, I had no idea what Tommy was going to speak about. I had a vague idea, obviously, because of Tommy. You know what I mean? But we didn't actually at any point have a conversation and say, right, what are you talking about? And I'll talk about this. And I want to talk about my mum. My braveness and my strength was instilled in me from a very, very young age. A bit like Tommy's with Alice, and I was delighted that Tommy started his talk about his mum. My mum influenced me in a very different way. My mum never ever got into politics or anything. Mum looked after us all and went to work. I was brought up in Pilton in Edinburgh, which even when I grew up there, it was classed as a deprived area. We were all deprived, and we all lived in relative poverty, and they say that about the area at the moment. But not only did I have my mum, you had your Betty McVeighs. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of Betty McVeigh, who's a very, very strong activist within that area, and was. Betty got me my first play scheme. I remember my first summer play scheme opening, and it was these women within my community who actually achieved all of these things. You know, you had your Mary Faulkners, your Eleanor McLaughlins, your Agnes Campbells. And I suppose what I'm getting at is, when I was growing up, these women all stuck together. These women looked after people within their communities. I didn't educate myself on socialism at all, or politics. My reactions are all inbuilt reactions that I learned through watching the women within my community responding really well to others in their community who had very little or nothing. Mum's been reminiscing a lot, which has been fantastic, and the last year we've spoke about politics an awful lot, and that's something that we've never ever really spoke about. I've never equated what my mum and the women around me who surrounded me and what they did, I never ever connected that with politics in any way, shape or form. But actually it was politics, but it was their politics. Just now we've got things that the Scottish Government are kind of setting out. We've got the Community Empowerment Bill, which, yeah, that's great. But I do smile wryly because Mum and Betty and Eleanor and Mary's, all these women, they didn't need a community empowerment bill to empower themselves and their communities. Whoever needed help got that help without question. And one wee story Mum told me, and I remember the incident was, there was a family who, you know, lots of families didn't have much, but this particular family almost had nothing. And their son was killed on his motorbike. And Mum spoke about how everyone in our street brought something. Somebody brought a bag of sugar, somebody brought some cheese, somebody brought... And there was the wee story that they went to the thrift shop. Now this was, I'm the same age as Tommy, I'm 51. This must have been when I was about 10, between 8 and 10. And that thrift shop's still there, exactly the same place. And Mum and the other women went to the thrift shop and kitted out the whole family to, you know, for their son's funeral, their son's and their brother's funeral. And one item was a fur coat. They got this lady a fur coat to wear to her son's funeral, to give her, I think it was to give her her place as that boy's mum. And she was warned, you can keep everything else, but we need the fur coat back. We kind of just borrowed it. You didn't get the fur coat back. The fur coat went to the pawn shop. Now instead of turning against that woman and getting angry, they understood, because this family had nothing. In the grand scheme of things, my family didn't have very much and other families didn't either, but what they had, they pulled together. They put together and they looked after the people within their communities. So what the women had to do was, with the very tiny little that they had, they then put that in the pot and they got the fur coat out the pawn shop, and the fur coat went back into the thrift shop. And I suppose what I'm kind of leading to is, where is that now in our communities? What has happened? When did we hand over the looking after the most vulnerable people in our communities to businesses, to big businesses? Because I feel that's what's happened. And I certainly don't think that the people who need the care and the support are any better off, and our communities certainly aren't. Another wee story was my brother's quali. He went to a quali, you know, at Edinburgh it's when you're qualifying dance. I don't know if you call it the same in Glasgow. But it's your sort of coming of age, going from primary into secondary. It's a big, big thing. And my brother's friend turned up. And again, this lad's family lived in poverty, didn't have very much. My brother, mum and dad pulled everything that they had, and my brother had his new trousers and his new shirt and things. And his friend turned up with his old clothes on, hadn't had a bath or a wash. And my brother went and said to my mum, I don't think Stephen's going to come. I don't think Mummy's not going to come. My mum didn't even think about it. She just went and she found him trousers and a shirt and handed him a collar. And he went and he got ready for his quali. Now that might not seem very much, but it was huge to him. And I'm going to kind of go back to women. I'm not saying you men don't have your place, but the women that I had around me when I was growing up were just so phenomenal, and they wouldn't have seen anybody do without. These were women, by the way, who could argue and could get into a wee bit of stushies with each other, but when it came down to the wire, they all came together and they all helped each other out. My friend Sharon Anderson, you might have heard of the Indie Girls. Sharon's one of the Indie Girls, and Sharon got interviewed by Mark McGowan, the artist taxi driver, last week. And her last sentence in the interview was, listen everybody, don't wait for them at the top to come and save you, because it doesn't matter who they are, they're not coming to save us. We all have to save each other. We all have to look out for each other. And I suppose, you took up all the time, Tommy. That for me is the crux of everything that drives me. Everything. I will not sit back and watch governments pick on and absolutely annihilate the most vulnerable people in our community. I can't do that. It's not what was instilled within me. I got the very same values, I think, instilled in me as Tommy did, but in very different ways. But one's no more important than the other. And I think there's a lot of women like me who shy away from movements, from rallies, from things like this, because they don't think they're clever enough. My mum is one of the most incredible, one of the most clever, amazing women I have ever known. But my mum will tell you that all she did was bring up 7 children. And I think we need to get back. We need to get back. As I say, we went through, when I was growing up, we went through the strikes and the lights going out and Dad being out of work and things being really, really, really tight. I don't remember any food banks.
No.
And we didn't need food banks because women like my mum, women like Alice, women like Rebecca, women like Betty, like Agnes, like Mary, all these names, we know all the big names, don't we? We know all the stars. All these women would never have left anybody to go to a food bank. Even if it meant taking them in and sitting them down at their table, that's what we would have done. And we can whinge and we can complain and we can moan about the government. But while we're doing that, why not put every bit of energy you have, every bit of spare time you have, into looking around into your own communities and seeing who needs that help. Cut out the middlemen. To me, the food bank is a middleman.
Mm-hmm.
Some food banks, I personally think that some food banks aren't there for the right reasons, without going too deeply into things. Why can't we cut out the middlemen? I don't take food to food banks anymore. I will look around in my community and I will see who needs help and I will give them that help directly. I've stopped giving to the huge corporate charities. I look around my own community. I look for small community groups because they will do far more with money. And not only that, the more and more people that do that, you have the joy of seeing what that does within your community and the difference and the changes that that can make. I've spoke about my mum, and I believe that I'm not militant, I'm not strong, I'm not brave, I just am who I am because of the values and the principles and the sense of justice and what is right. But I do want to give a wee nod to my dad. My dad, I wouldn't be sitting here with this confidence and this bolshiness. Some people even call it arrogance, if it wasn't for my dad. My dad taught me to stand up and to speak out whenever I saw something wrong. My dad also, through all the arguments and fights I had with him through my teenage years, taught me to stand my ground and put across my arguments and my reasons. So I went from not being political at all. I'd never ever joined a political party in my life. People had been at me for a long time, God, you need to get into politics. And oh no, politics for me was a dirty word because of what I saw. That's what I don't want to do that. Have you seen what politicians do? I don't want anything to do with that. So I went through the Yes movement, trying to figure out where I sort of fitted in. And all these people who I recoiled against and I argued with about the label socialist, well, they were right. I'm an out and out socialist. And if that makes me militant, that's okay with me. Because if being a socialist and being a militant is what you are when you stand up and you speak out and you try and protect the most vulnerable that are in your communities and within your country, I'll be a militant and I'll be a socialist and I'll be very, very proud to be so. I want to end on where Tommy began, actually, about the 19th of September and the Hope Over Fear rally. Throughout the referendum and my journey, I went to a lot of different events organised by a lot of different groups. I was a wee bit wary about the big rallies, huge rallies. And I decided to take my granddaughter to our first Hope Over Fear rally. My granddaughter's 8. I didn't do that lightly. But I want my granddaughter to understand and not be frightened of standing up for what's right. I want her to hear and see and experience things from all different people. And we got off the train and I managed to convince my friend to come along, who had never been to a rally in her whole life. And she was quite scared, actually. And we got off the train and we started walking down. And she stopped and she turned and she looked at me and she went, "Do you feel that? Do you feel that?"
Yeah.
And I went, yeah, this is what I mean. I've been a wee bit upset by some of the wee blogs and things and comments that people have made about our Hope Over Fear rallies. I'm now actually on the committee for Hope Over Fear. And they've kind of sneeringly said, oh, the face painters, the face painting and the singing and the dancing. Well, I'll tell you what, I will be there on the 19th of September, one, because they're my kind of people, and two, I will be there to celebrate, absolutely celebrate. Yes, we lost the referendum, but my word, we created some amazing conversations. We have pulled a community together. We have people now looking out for people in their community the way that I spoke about how things were when I was younger. There's one of our affiliated groups who Hope Over Fear is Yes Holytown. Group of guys just last week, they helped a lady who was in a wheelchair get to the polling station during the general election. They've got to know her a wee bit better. And they realised this lady, her garden was overgrown, she couldn't get down her path properly on her wheelchair. These guys got together last week and they just turned up and they completely cleared our garden, cleared our path. That's just one incident. So I am going to celebrate, I'm going to celebrate all the people who came together, all the different groups, regardless of what they call themselves or where they sit on whatever spectrum there is within the Yes movement. I'm there to celebrate the political awakening in Scotland that I'll tell you what I think the rest of the UK would give their right arm for. So that's what I'm celebrating.
Yeah, here, here.
Here, here. When the dog agrees, you know you're right.
Just in case you think someone's mimicking that, we have a real yes dog. Folks, before I open up for questions, can I just say that if things go well, if the members of my own political party, Solidarity, in the Lothians area make the right decision, in my opinion, and if things go well next May, then I hope that you will be inviting June Dickson back to speak here next May, and she's speaking as a Lothians MSP. Because that's the type of person we need in the parliament to communicate the authentic voice of ordinary people. So I hope that we can get that act together and we can deliver that. Now, look,